You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show. I am your host, Alexander Joyce, and with me today is Angie. And we're doing a series around Medicare. And it's really fun for me to have, of course, you here with us, a part of our firm, to discuss Medicare, because to me, there's certain subjects, centered around financial planning that I am not an expert on.
Sure.
I remember when I was studying and I was focusing on, licensing going way back, and it got to like health insurance and Medicare insurance and Social Security, and that stuff sometimes gets really difficult. Mm-hmm. And so as we build a holistic practice, as we build a firm that encompasses things like wealth management, tax planning, estate planning, why not have somebody that specifically focuses on Medicare?
Exactly.
And so I think that there's a lot of questions out there when it comes to Medicare. And I guess the first question I would have, if I'm a viewer, if you will, is when should we enroll? When's the appropriate time to really start looking at Medicare?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question, Alex. Each individual in general is going to have their own IEP. That's initial enrollment period. So the month that you turn 65, the 3 months before and the 3 months after are when you are going to initially enroll for most cases.
Okay, so that's the 3 months before, 3 months after. And when we look at the initial enrollment period, does that mean there's no like medical exams, pokes, is that what that really means?
Yeah, typically when you're getting in at that point, there's no underwriting. Most of it is guaranteed issue, and it's really the best time to start looking.
Yeah, and that's one of the questions we have. It's like, some of the clients that we work with are afraid, or they don't really know, because they're getting ready to turn 65, and there's like this Part A thing, there's this Part B thing, there's this Part D thing, right? And there's all these different plan types, and it becomes frustrating for them, especially if they want to continue working and they're on their health care or their employer's medical plan. Is it still, you believe that if someone is still on their employer plan, they automatically get Plan A, right? Which covers...
Most people, that is the way that they move forward. Part A is great because you don't pay out of pocket. You've likely paid for that your whole year when you're paying those FICA taxes and all those other lines coming out of your paycheck. That's what you've been paying for your whole life.
Yeah, it is, right? I mean, the taxes that we pay our entire life pay for Medicare, right? Medicare tax comes out.
A good part of it.
A good part of it, which is a part of our series, is like, what part does it not cover?
Exactly.
Right? And it is true probably when we start to look at financial planning, because when some people are making a lot of money and they approach like Part B, the premium tends to go up.
That is very true, yes.
And so it's really cool and fortuitous, really, because knowing that our practice, the philosophy, if you will, is plan first, invest later. Mm-hmm. There's so many legs under this stool that go in terms of an itemized list of financial planning. And what I always stress to our clients, and you've been a part of this and very instrumental, is stop chasing return, right? Mm-hmm. Let's really focus on the efficiency factors inside of a portfolio, and let's start planning to win. Right? Mm-hmm. Proper planning. And when you have a plan in front of you and a roadmap, it tends to make life a lot simpler when it comes to, finances and an economy like we deal with right now. And I think Medicare is a critical part of that. And so as our viewers watch this series centered around Medicare, I think it's important to have key takeaways, right? The enrollment period, right? The IEP, 3 months before, 3 months after, when to properly engage with an advisor.
Oh yeah, that's an important one.
Isn't that an important one? When do you start really talking about this topic of Medicare?
Well, what a lot of people don't realize is that when you get ready to file and you're looking at your Part B premium, they're actually going to do a 2-year look back, which means if you're filing in 2023, they're going to look at your 2021 tax return. So meeting with your financial advisor can really get you set up for success, so that when you go to file for that Part B, you're not going to take as big of a hit.
Yeah, I agree with you. And isn't it true that this is, I don't know if you put words in your mouth, but I believe it's true in my professional opinion that is missed a lot of times, because when advisors are really working with their clients, they're so used to chasing return, making money, right? And it's really that 2 years, you got to be cautious, as you just mentioned, Angie, about how much earned income you're making to be able to adjust and make sure you make room for that. So again, if you have any questions about the topic of Medicare, right? Medicare planning, any questions for Angie, myself, regarding this matter, don't hesitate. Pick up the phone and call now. You can text us right below. But stay tuned, folks. There's more show to come.